I should read my piece from the Untold Gaze to follow that, but it's even sicker.
Damn.
So I started this novel about 4 years ago, and got about 2/3 of the way through, and every time I brought pages into the Danish writing workshop, what I hear, or what we talk about 4 or 5 times each time was, well, this is the first draft, that's kind of a second draft thing. So every 7 pages was like 5 times. Well, that's a second draft thing. And I was getting really frustrated, so I talked with Tom about it, and I was also bringing things in over and over. It took about 4 months to write something about 3 boys climbing over a fence. But I have a really good scene of the 3 boys climbing over a fence. But I also had heard people talking about, even if it gets hard on your first draft, don't start over, just get all the way through.
Yes!
So, who said yes?
Yes!
No.
I did!
Okay.
Audrey, me, your friend.
My friends in the future. All right. And that's what I was thinking, and so I'm saying all this stuff, and Tom just said, well, maybe you should start your second draft. And kind of blew me away. So this is the beginning of the second draft. Thank you, friend from the future. You just told me not to do this. There's about a page and a half there's like a couple of minutes that's a really quick beginning of the book, and then it moves into sort of like the first chapter. So I'll say something like 1, 2. Okay. Since it's the beginning, I don't have to explain this. Big Sur. The way my friend Red told me about it, it was the most beautiful bunch of forest and ocean and sky in the world. Square miles of nature and love. My best friend. I was 15 and Red 16. And he was black and I was Jewish. Black is what we said back then, not African American. I had long hair that went down my back, thick and wavy and knotted, what we called a freak flag. Red had a tall afro. Sometimes with an afro comb he stuck in it for show. We both wore those flowery, button-down, long-sleeve shirts, and Red wore Levi's and I wore blue cords, and Red wore black leather boots with metal strips that went along the toes, and I wore Adidas. We called ourselves the last 2 hippies of Hamilton High. It was 1973, the middle of winter, our hitchhiking trip to Big Sur, the most beautiful place. Trees, sky, hope for something better. A simple trip, 4 days. What I saw at Big Sur itself, rain, a line of trees along the highway, a fence, someone's private property, a bar and a motel, more rain, the kind of rain you have to get yourself to or you drown. What else I saw in Big Sur, a sign in the rain that said no trespassing, another sign in the dark that said members only, and night fog so thick I was blind, and night sky so clear the stars blinded me. No, the stars didn't blind me, they filled me. My best friend, but it was 1973. I didn't have the words to say what was in me. I didn't even know what was in me. There was a lot I didn't know. And Tommy, that fucker Tommy. Too soon in the telling to say it maybe, but that fucker Tommy. The tricks that memory plays, not just how I remember different from how Red remembers, but how what I want now changes what happened then. The love we had, Red and me, I don't know how different it could have been if we had words for it. I have loved women, married a couple of them, held them close. I lusted for women too, for the things I couldn't quite understand. Their skin, their fine hands, the outside of them and the inside. I lusted to hold them, so close we'd be the same and I could see out of their eyes. But I only wanted to hold one man that way, and I had no words for it, not even an idea it could exist. Those 4 days in 1973, and everything that came before it. 2. Getting rides took forever, hours sometimes by the side of the road, along a highway on-ramp, thumbs out, the three of us. We thought we were too freaky, too scary for all the straights that passed us by. Not long ago, I went online and bought a copy of my old yearbook. I never got one when I was in school. Couldn't care less back then. 40 years later, I wanted to see the pictures. $100 to buy the facsimile of someone else's copy. 10th grade, the year I met Red. Before I opened up the yearbook, I thought, man, I'm going to look good. Before I got fat, the great hair I had. Then I opened it up, turned the pages. Rows of kids posted alphabetically in the little black and white photos. There I was, long hair parted on one side, metal frame glasses, that big nose of mine. I was as much of a dork as all the other greasy-looking teenagers in that damn yearbook. I couldn't look at the picture for very long. It took me right out of what I told myself all the years since then. I went through the yearbook and found Red. He was different too, from what I remembered. Eyes down, his afro matched and uneven. He looked so young. And the poor quality of the picture. I could hardly make out Red's cheekbones, his fine line of jaw. His skin looked so dark. I didn't remember him being so dark. I tried to find Tommy, page after page, 600 kids in our class, but Tommy must have skipped picture day. I remember what he looked like though. Pale skin, the blush he got so easy, his red blonde hair, the way it flipped up because it wasn't long enough to go over the tops of his ears, his fat cheeks, the kind of cheeks you wanted to squeeze, not because you thought he was cute, just because you wanted to bully him. Tommy always wore this sweater, brown wool pullover. From the first day I met him, no matter if it was 90 degrees out. The sweater had one of those Charlie Brown zigzag stripes that went around the whole thing. Tight, undersized, his pot belly hanging over his belt. Our first ride set the pattern, a couple of hours waiting on the curb where you turn from Lincoln Boulevard to the Santa Monica Freeway. Black rubber-looking spots on the ground where people stood long enough to spit out their gum. Smashed cigarette butts in little piles, some of them with lipstick. It felt weird, scary to stand there with my thumb out. My backpack on my back, and then I dumped it on the ground, and I picked it up again. All our stuff got in our way. Tommy didn't know where to go, sometimes next to Red, sometimes away from the curb, back on the oily dirt by the bushes that line the curve of the road. Red, he just leaned forward out on the curb the way he always did. A little lean, a little aggression. I'd look at him and think about how he was so comfortable with himself. All the cars that passed us, the sounds of those cars, motors at different pitches, Camaros and Mustangs and little Toyotas and VW bugs, the tires of all those cars, they sounded like the ocean. Sometimes a screech because our car took a turn too fast. Think about if you're driving one of those cars. You make the quick turn off Lincoln, you see the black kid first, his big afro, his shirt is untucked and his pants have patches on the knees, flowery, paisley, whatever it's called, patches. And maybe a phrase comes quick to mind that's been said in the news a lot, black militant. Then you see the other two kids, the long hair with the blue corduroys, stupid hippie, and the fat one in the brown sweater, the only one with a decent haircut, but otherwise just a fat slob. All three of the kids bigger than you, and they got backpacks and sleeping bags, and they take up a lot of room on that curb. You watch them in your rear view before you merge into traffic, and then you forget all about them, except you say something out loud like, damn kids, or something like that. I look back on my hippiness, the dorky kid in that yearbook picture, the kid standing on the curb with my thumb out, what I wore and how much effort I put into it. My blue cords, because they had the right kind of bell bottom on at the cuffs. Because I could walk over to Century City Mall, into the Robinsons, and use my mom's card to get a couple of pairs. I knew how they fit. I didn't have to go to a dressing room to try them on. That's the last thing I'd do, is go behind one of those slatted doors that didn't go all the way to the top, and take my own pants off and hustle on another pair of pants. I was 15 years old, and I wasn't taking the risk of someone seeing me in my jockey shorts. No way. Red and me, we shared our flower shirts sometimes. His shirt smelled like Tide, which is what his mom used. I was skinnier than Red, and he had those pecs. And his shirts were always loose on me, and they were tight on him. That morning, first day of our hitchhiking trip, Red had tied up a bandana and used it as a headband. It had flowers too, with a blue background. Me, I just let my freak flag fly. One of those overcast days when the onshore breeze clears out the smog, and my hair blew all around, all the knots and curls of it. Those middle-aged drivers, those straights that pass us by, that's what we told each other, those straights. But you wouldn't have picked us up either. I wouldn't have picked us up. Not even the fat one with a decent haircut. Backpacks and sleeping bags on the ground between us, tired of standing, tired of all the drivers, the ones that gave Red an obvious look and then sped up. Although really, they had to speed up. They were headed down the ramp to the freeway. but we took it personally. Middle-aged straights. Not long after was when straight meant something else, like gay and straight. But for a while, straight was just the world of people that worked 9 to 5 and made their car payments and wore suits. And well, straights were people like our parents. We finally figured it out. Make Tommy the first thing those drivers see when they turn the corner from Lincoln. We talked it over in a huddle, like in football where the quarterback calls the play. We stepped away from the bags and backpacks on the ground, away from the curb, Tom practically in the scrub, me just in front of him. Not a nice equal huddle of 3, not a little circle of us, but me closer to Red, blocking Tommy. When Red spoke, he talked to my face and over my shoulder to Tommy. Red pointed at the curve, quarterback calling the play. Okay, Tommy, you be our face, our guy in front, nice short-haired white boy. You stand here so they see you first. When we get a ride, every ride, you take shotgun if you can. I felt Tommy behind me, well, heard him really. His feet moved, straight as dirt, and Tommy's breath, even with the sound of all the cars going past, and with Red talking, I could hear the little wheeze Tommy had. Inhale, exhale, quick and stressed. Shotgun, I said. I don't think Tommy knows what you mean. And Tommy, he didn't say a thing, just looked at Red's hand, but pointed at the curve. And the blush that started up Tommy's neck, embarrassment, anger, I don't know. Yeah, I was an asshole. I didn't like Tommy. From the start of him hanging out with Red that summer, I didn't like him. And I sure didn't like him being on our hitchhiking trip. Shotgun, Red said. You know, front seat, next to the driver. If we get a ride and the front seat is open, Tommy, you take it. You always take it. Michael and me were more of a challenge to all them straights out there. A little victory because Red picked me to be his backseat companion. Safe back there with him. More than that, it was clear Tommy and me were in a fight for Red's attention. Our whole trip, the pattern of it on that curve. So we lined up like Red said, Tommy closest to the oncoming cars, Red and me trying to be skinny and insignificant behind him. Think about it. This fat kid with his clothes too tight, and a black kid and a hippie kid, backpacks, sleeping bags. You pick us up, you're taking a chance. We fill up your whole car with our crazy counterculture selves. But some of these straights, they like to think of themselves as cool, groovy. Groovy hadn't been a thing for years. Still, they thought they were groovy. Like our first ride. Blue Buick station wagon, just like my dad's car, but words painted on the side for a typewriter store. A phone number with a Santa Monica prefix. The driver braked fast and stopped past us halfway at the curb. He left his engine running when he got out of the car. Radio music loud out the open windows. A singer with a deep storyteller kind of voice, Jim Croce. His song where he sings to the phone operator. The driver was a short little guy in his 30s. His hair, that kind of extra curly white man perm. First grown-up man I saw with that hair. Fat mustache, short sleeve shirt with a fat tie. Energetic little guy. He came around the back of his car and we all clustered up by his tailgate, the driver against the back of his car, Tommy facing him, Red and me behind Tommy. Red had his hand on Tommy's back like he was guiding him. This guy, the driver, he talked fast. Definitely one of those straights that thought he was groovy. Hey guys, he said, you need a ride? I can give you a ride down to Sunset. Jiggling his feet around, talking with his hands. These days we'd call him ADHD. Right down to PCH, he said, then Sunset. But I gotta go up to the Palisades, man, see my lawyer. Divorce lawyer, right? My bitch of an ex wants it all. I gotta tell my lawyer he has to be tougher, man, you know? The too much information that comes out of a straight who thinks it's groovy. Sunset and PCH wasn't far, 15 minutes down the road, but it was a start.